Hello everyone, this is Josh from Monroe County Public Library. I'm here today with you with another digital creativity at home software that you can use for free. And again, I'm talking about Blender. Blender is a very versatile program, and I've showed a few things from it, but there's so much that you can do that it probably will take at least, I don't know, it could take a large number of videos to cover every feature, but I'm definitely probably going to do some more installations on this. So again, if you do not have this installed, it's from blender.org. It is available on any system, Windows, Mac, or Linux, and again, it's free. You'll note that I'm on version 2.9.3.1, and that is a pretty recent version. I think for the project I'm doing today, you just need to be on a version above 2.90. So I'm going to talk today about 2D animation, and I've talked about this before in a video. You could probably look it up on our YouTube channel, but today I'm going to be talking about how to use Blender as a painting program. So if you've ever used something like Krita, you can paint in Photoshop as well, or Procreate. This is something that's very similar to that. So we're going to get into this, and I'm just going to go ahead and click on 2D animation. So by default here, we have a canvas that we can draw on, and I can just click and draw. I'm going to undo that. You can also change your brush. There's some pencils, some pens, markers, and things like that. They change like the thickness, how it applies to this canvas here. You can change the color, and you have some tools on this side as well. You have some shapes, lines, things like that. You have fill tool, you have shade tools, an eraser, of course. And one thing that you need to make sure that your computer is set to do is to be in a certain specific mode. So in here, by default, if I draw, you get this gray line. I'm just going to hit Control Z to undo that. But you'll see that I have like this green color here in this section. What you actually want to do is hit this button just to the right of this. There's like a blue ball right here. That's the material view button, or the material paint mode. You want to click this one that kind of looks like a blob with a line above it, just to its right. This is vertex color. That gives you colored strokes. And if you're still not seeing color strokes, make sure that your Blender is not set in this first mode here. This is solid mode, which doesn't show any color. You want to be set in this second mode, which is viewport shading, or the third mode, which is rendered view. Rendered view takes a little bit more system resources, so a good medium is just this middle one. For something like this, it shouldn't matter if you're in this last one or the middle one, but I'm just going to keep mine in the middle one. And again, you can draw, you can undo, you can erase that stuff, but this is, while this isn't limited, you could probably draw whatever you wanted. There are some nice features that you can get in something like Photoshop that you can't get in Blender. So you may ask, why would you use this? So what I'm going to do here is actually import some brushes into this and show you just how powerful this program can be. So on the internet here, I'm just going to go ahead into my search. You'll see this first thing here. There's a user on that works on a lot of Blender projects called Pepe Land on their YouTube. They're a French artist. They made some brushes that you can download for free. The person's actual name is Daniel Martinez Lara. He's been involved with a lot of Blender projects, so definitely check those out. And you can see them use the brushes in this top video here, and I think there's a video linked on this page. You're just going to want to look for the first link that says Brush Pack version 2, Blender 2.90 or above, Daniel Martinez Lara. Whenever you get here, you can have the embedded images that kind of show this off. You have this image here, and this probably links to something, or this is a video here. So you just want to click download. It downloads a zip file. You don't need to be logged in or anything. You can just download it, and this is free as well. I've already downloaded it. Because it downloads as a zip file, you'll need to extract it, which I've already done. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize the window here, and I'm going to go ahead and hit File, Append, and I'm going to go into my downloads, find the brush pack, find the person's blend file that's in the extracted folder of the brush pack, and I'm going to go into the brush folder, and then I'm going to find all these ones that have been kind of set aside here. They are with the double P here. So PP Cloud 1, and we're going to get all of these here, and I'm going to hit append, and now we actually have all these brushes in here. So these are very cool. There's lots of really cool things that you can do with this, so I'm just going to show you here. I'm going to click this, and I'm actually going to turn the radius up. This is kind of the size of the brush. There's also strength here, which changes some properties of the brush. We really don't need to mess with that too much, but for the grass, it'll let you do 500 to lay down the grass here, but I'm actually going to turn it up to 1000 just to make it a much larger size, and I'm going to go ahead and paint in some grass. And you can see that I get this really nice grass effect pretty easily here. So I'm just going to paint it a little bit more, and you'll notice maybe it's a little bit laggy, and that's just because Blender it's doing a lot of stuff. It's placing a lot of strokes at once here, right? So that kind of slows things down. So if you want to zoom in here, you can use your scroll wheel. If you need to pan, you want to hold down Shift and then click in your scroll wheel to pan around. If you're not holding Shift, you'll rotate your camera. You don't want to do that. This is actually in 3D space here. So you don't want to rotate. If you get into a different view, you can go View, Camera, and then you want to go to Active Camera. And that'll bring you back. So there you go. And if you have a computer with a numpad, you can always return to this scene by hitting the letter 0. Or I guess the number 0, it's not a letter. But let's take a look at this grass here that we drew. And you'll see that it's laid down different hues, just different colors altogether, some opacity things, and it's made this really beautiful watercolor type paint here. So I'll show you something else here, another one of these brushes. These oil brushes are quite incredible. I love them. And I'm going to turn the radius on this up to really high. So maybe, you know what, actually let's turn it up to 2000. I was going to turn it up to 1500. We're going to turn it up to 2000, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Sorry, I was accidentally zooming back in there. And I'm just going to draw a sky. And you'll see it does the same thing. So I'm going to hit Shift and then move my scroll wheel. And you can see it's doing the same thing with colors and shades and things like that. And you can also change this here too. So if I wanted like my sky to be a little bit more purple, I could paint in some purple here. And you know, I'm going to get those shades to be different as well. So maybe these look like clouds or something like that. There's also a cloud brush in here, which does a really nice effect. So I'm going to draw on the cloud. I forgot to increase the size of this, but you'll see that, you know, it's kind of drawing this cloud. So I might be able to use this for like a different color of cloud, maybe a lower lying one. And these are like, you know, the higher ones. You don't have to use these for the purpose that, you know, they say they are. It's a brush for cloud or grass or whatever. Get creative, you know. There's a lot of different applications that you can do. I'll show you another one of my favorite brushes, this leaf brush. The default color that it suggests is absolutely incredible. I love it. But any color works well on this. So I'm just gonna draw in this here. And again, it's a little laggy because it's painting lots of strokes at once. And do know that Blender has a layer system built in. So if you wanted to paint behind something, you go into the layer menus here, and then you can add a layer to paint on top of something and make things behind something else if you want to do that. You can reorder the layers and stuff like that here as well. And you can see very easily I was able to create something that is quite beautiful. If I just save this image by hitting the F12 button, I could render it out by hitting Image and then Save As, or I can hit Control S here. You see it's a really cool image. I'm going to show you an image that I drew using this process here. And this is something I drew here. So this is like the oil paint here for something that's kind of like a sun or a cloud. It's really cool too because you have these lighter colors here, which is almost like, watercolor rather than oil. So it just gives it this beautiful effect. And again, I've drawn these leaves here, and then I've added some color to the grass here for some accents. And obviously, I can draw a lot more. I can draw this overlooking a vista. If I did something like have a layer behind this, I can make some mountains, just whatever I want to do. And because Blender, it does a lot of different functionality, I can actually turn this into an animation if I would like as well. So this isn't really part of this tutorial. I just kind of want to show off some of the things Blender can do, because I've shown off the kind of animation process before. I'll show you this again. So you could draw something like, let's just draw in. I'm just going to use one of Blender's default brushes. And I added a layer above these two layers because I don't want to affect this. I want this to be static here. And I guess I still have the green color selected. Let's go ahead and undo that. And let me change this to a red color. I can also change my color here. So I'm going to change this to a red color. And I'm going to pick a different pen or pencil here. I'm just going to use this marker. And again, I accidentally had it set still to green. So let me change this to red. There we go. All right, so what you can do now is go forward some frames, and then you would also draw in frames between this, but let's imagine that we're drawing in maybe one of these clouds, and we're going to animate it to go from left to right here. If we go back to the beginning and hit play, you'll see around frame 20 that it goes to the next thing. And that's because I've added 2 frames here. And you can also see this if you click on this little arrow button here. And this shows you where your keyframes are on your dope sheet. So we have the first frame here, and then it goes to the second frame here. I can also do something where I can interpolate between these, and what that does is it generates automatic frames. So let me get that here. I think I need to be in edit mode for this. You probably will have a button up here that says interpolate. That would be nice. I think I removed mine. You can reset the layout of Blender, and that's what I've done. So let me find one of the modes where it's still in here. Assign object mode. It's in edit mode. Okay, so you can also get it in edit mode. So I'm going to hit grease pencil, being in between these 2 frames, and I'm going to hit interpolate sequence. And you can see it adds a ton of keyframes here. So I'm going to go back to the beginning, and I'm going to hit play, and you'll see that it moves my X from left to the right. And so with a few buttons, I have created a beautiful background. I have made an animation, and I have something that's a very cool effect. And I'll show you something, one other last thing here. So you can also apply modifiers. So I'm going to apply a modifier. Let me hit noise, and I'm going to change some of these values here. Let's turn this down maybe. Let's turn this up, and let's turn this to 2 or something. I don't know. And then we're going to hit play. So you have this weird image. You'd probably have to play with these values to get a better result, where the X goes from the left to the right, like maybe you drew in a cloud or a bird, and then you have this nice little animation of noise in the background. I'm going to actually just turn this way down, and then hit play again. And let's try to turn this way down as well. Maybe I need a... So now it's a little bit more calm. And if I rendered this out by hitting Command or Control F12, or going to my rendering menu and hitting Render Animation versus Rendering Image, it'll actually render this out. I'm not going to get into any of that because it's a little bit more complex, but just know that there are lots of different things that you can do, such as animation, painting, and auto-generating frames, as well as auto-generating motion. So it makes, something really cool very easily. with all this covered, I invite you to use this program and make some great art, share it with us. Till then, we'll see you next time.